Hi everyone, I'm Janneke and welcome back to my channel. As you may know, I've been moving and as such I'm also moving my bookcases and all of my books. I figured this was the perfect time to actually go through all my books and decide which ones I want to keep. So this is going to be my first unhaul. I have a ton of books that I bought years ago or that I got for my birthday by someone and that I'm not actually interested in or that I've read and just didn't like that much and that I've decided to get rid of right now. The first book that I'm getting rid of is Het Filmschrift by Leslie Margolis. This is a book that I read as a kid and I did enjoy it back then, but I don't really have any memories of it. So I don't have any nostalgia towards it or anything, so I've decided to get rid of this one. And I don't really have much else to tell. I guess I can tell you a bit about what it's about. It's about a teenage girl who's the daughter of a filmmaker, a movie maker, I think, and she writes a script that's kind of like a diary, and then it gets out, and I think her dad wants to make a movie of it, but yeah, as I said, I read this when I was like 10 or 11, so I don't remember anything else about it. But that is the first book that I'm going to get rid of. Another book that I'm getting rid of is The Overlever by Tom Kane. This is a translation. I think the original title is The Survivor, or at least that's what it roughly translates to. I have no idea what this is about. I got it for my birthday years ago and I'm pretty sure it's a thriller, and I don't like thrillers or action books that much, and that is definitely what this seems like. So this one is also going away. And then the next one is a very well-known one. It is The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Again, something I got for my birthday one day and just not anything I'm interested in. It seems kind of like a mystery, and yeah, it's just not something I'm interested in, so that is also going away. Then the next book is A Stroom van Gedichten, a stream of poems, I think it translates to. And this is something that was made while I was in my first year of high school, and it's by a bunch of high schools from my town with a bunch of poems, and I kept it back then because there were some people I knew who had written a poem in it, like some people from my class, but I just paged through it, and it's no one I'm still in contact with. It's no one I was ever really close to. They just happened to be in the same class as me, so I am also going to get rid of this. And the next book is an omnibus. There are 3 different books in here, and they're all from Vonne van der Meer, which is a Dutch author. Again, something I got for my birthday, and I'm just not interested in it. It seems like a kind of literary novel. It's definitely aimed at adults, and I don't know, it just sounded kind of boring to me, to be honest. Like, it's just not my type of book. It's not something I would enjoy. At least I don't think it's something I will enjoy. So I am also getting rid of this one. Then the next one is How do I live with my neurotic cat? Hoe uit ik het uit met mijn neurotische kat? Van Stephen Baker. I tried to read this for the Backlist Readathon as my shortest book on my TBR, and I just did not like it. I did not find it funny. I mentioned this one in my recent reads video. I'll link that up top, one of the 2 corners. Yeah, I just didn't like it, so I'm getting rid of this one. The next one is Russian Blue by Rasha Paker. This was a book that my aunt had, and she had a bunch of books in a box that she gave to my mom to look through, and I also looked through it to see if there was anything I thought was interesting. And this one seemed interesting to me at the time because I think the Russian Tsar family, the Romanovs, are very interesting, and this is about a journalist who I think investigates them. But I tried to read the first chapter, and it's just more about the journalist, and then now, at least the beginning of the book is more about the journalist and the now and his life than the actual family. So I think that if I want to read about the Romanovs, there are a ton of books that are actually like historical retellings about the Romanovs instead of something that takes place in the now and is about someone investigating the family instead of the family itself. So yeah, I'm also going to get rid of this one. Then another book I'm getting rid of is Jonge A by Jonathan Triggle, something. I think it's Boy A. I think it's a book that's also in English. I got this from a bookstore because it was super cheap. Actually, I got it for free. They had an action where if you came in wearing 2 different socks, you could get a free book, and this book was the most interesting to me that was on the table, but I just don't think it's very interesting. It's about a boy who has been in juvie, I think. And he's getting out now, and he's a different name and a different identity, and people don't know he's been in juvie his whole life. And yeah, it sounds kind of interesting, but it just doesn't sound like anything I will read, so I'm also getting rid of this one. Then the next book I'm getting rid of is Pretty Little Liars, the first book in the series, the Dutch version, but yeah. It's Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard. I read this one, I got it for my birthday, and then I read it when I was, I think 14, maybe 13, something around there, and I did enjoy it, but I never continued with the series, and yeah, I just don't really want to keep it anymore, so also getting rid of this one. And then the next book is The 100 by Cass Morgan. This is a novelization of the TV show. I think there is a series of books as well, it's not just this one. I bought this a couple of years ago, and I tried to read the first chapter, and I just didn't find it interesting. I've also tried to watch a TV show, but again, it just isn't for me, so I think I'm also just going to get rid of this one. Right, I should tell you what it's about. It's about a group of teens who live in space. Well, everyone lives in space, but they are also prisoners, just like the last book. So this group of teens is sent to Earth to check if it's livable again, because something happened to Earth that made it uninhabitable, and they want to see if they can move back to Earth. So these teens are like test subjects, kind of, and yeah, it sounded interesting, but it's just not something I enjoy, so I'm getting rid of this one as well. And then the next book is A Hologram for the King by Dave Eggers. This is again a book I got for my birthday one year, and it's just not something I'm interested in, which is also partly why nowadays I just give people a list of books I want when I want something for my birthday, so that I get books that I'm actually interested in, because it's just kind of a waste for them and me, and the book, if they give me something I won't ever read. So yeah, I'm not sure what this is about. I tried to read the synopsis and it just went over my head. So it is a very pretty book though, but it is not for me. That was the last of the Dutch language books that I had, so now we're going into the English ones that I'm getting rid of. The first one of which is Pretty Fierce by Karen Scott. This is about a daughter of a couple of assassins who's like in hiding or something, I think, but then when she's with her boyfriends, her past catches up to her. I'm not sure how, maybe someone tries to kill her or something, I think, and then she goes on the run with her boyfriends, and I'm not sure what else, but that's like the basic concept of it. I got this book at Jelk in 2016. I'm not sure how I got it. Maybe I won it, or maybe I had to get a book for something else that I wanted. I think maybe there was a bag I wanted or something, and you got a book for free if you bought that bag or something like that. Yeah, I have no interest in reading this, so I'm going to get rid of it. And then the next book is The Storyteller by Antonia Michaelis. This is a book that I bought years ago in a bookstore, and I was really interested in it back then. And even now, if I read the description, it sounds kind of interesting. But I heard that it's really dark and it's not a happy story, and I just don't want to read anything that's not happy, I guess, or at least it doesn't have a happy ending. So I am going to get rid of this one as well. This is about a good girl who meets a boy who has a troubled past and a troubled home life, and I think they fall in love, but also there's like death in this as well, and murder, I think. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, do check it out. It just doesn't sound like it's for me, but I think a lot of people would like this book a lot. So, and then the next book is The Reluctant Fundamentalist by Mohsin Hamid. This is a book that I got from a friend. I got a bunch of books from her that I think she had for school but didn't want or need anymore because she'd graduated. And a lot of them sounded interesting, and I kept a lot of them, but this one just doesn't sound interesting to me at all. I tried a couple of chapters, but it reads very like stream of consciousness, which isn't for me either. I'm not sure what this is about. Maybe I should have prepared this video better and actually given you synopsis for every book, but I didn't. So here we are. It's about a Pakistani student, I think, an exchange student at an American college, but I'm not sure what else it's about. And then we have the comic book Runaways. It's the complete collection of volume 1. I did read this. I'm not sure how I felt about it. I kind of enjoyed it. I just did like the comic part of it. I just wanted an actual story. I wanted more depth, more thoughts, more everything. So that's why I'm getting rid of this one. I just didn't like it that much. This is about a group of teens who find out that their parents are supervillains, and then they run away and they try to stop their parents. Yeah, I actually read this one, so I can tell you what it's about. And then the next book is a graphic novel by Joe Suck. It's called Username Evie. I did actually kind of like this when I read it, but again, it's just, I wanted more story, I wanted more depth. And it did feel like it was for a bit of a younger audience, but I was younger back then, so that wasn't really a problem for me, but I just wanted more out of it. It does have 2 sequels, I think, so if you read those, you probably got more out of it. Maybe I should have just read those, but yeah, I'm not very interested in this, and I'm also getting rid of this one. If I remember correctly, this is about a girl who feels alienated, I guess, or she feels alone in her school, and then she finds this game, I think, or something on her laptop at least, and that sucks her into that world. The next book that I'm getting rid of is The Red House by Mark Haddon. This is a book I again got for my birthday that I'm just not interested in it. I think I was like 13 or 14 when I got this, and it's just a very adult book, and I am an adult now, so I read adult fiction right now, but I'm still just not very interested in it because it seems very slow, very slice of lifey, and that's just not something I'm interested in right now. It's about 2 siblings who have spent a lot of time avoiding each other, but now they're forced into the same house for, I don't know, a week or a couple of days. And yeah, that's basically what the synopsis tells me. This is by the author of The Curious Incident of the Dog at the Nighttime, so that is a very well-known book. I've not read it, but I do know about it, so that's interesting, but it's just not something I think I will enjoy, so I'm getting rid of this one. Then there is Life Love Books by Mark Manson. This is again a book I got for free because there were 2 different colored socks to the bookstore. They have that action like every year, and it's awesome, and I always go. But I read this book last year. The last book is the last book of December I read, actually, because I wanted to read another book to finish my reading goal for Goodreads, and this was very easy to read in a day. So I actually read this on the 31st of December. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It's yeah, it's non-fiction, I guess. It's non-fiction, definitely. It's just his thoughts on things, I think, on life and love and books and stuff. And I agreed with some parts of his thoughts, and others I didn't agree with, but it was definitely an interesting read. It's by the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Yeah, that's all I have to tell you, really. It's just a short book that I read and do not want to keep. And then the next book is another very popular one. It is Looking for Alaska by John Green. I got this in London because I met a friend in London, and we decided to buy each other a book that we both really enjoyed ourselves. And that person gave me this book. And I read it, and I just didn't really like it. I thought the book's divided into 2 parts, the before and after. I thought the after part was fun and interesting, but I thought the before part was just so boring. I couldn't get through it. Well, I did get through it, but I could barely get through it. John Green is a bit of a mixed bag for me. Like, I've read The Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns, and Looking for Alaska, and I enjoyed The Fault in Our Stars when I read it. I loved Paper Towns when I read it, and I just did not enjoy Looking for Alaska at all. So I am getting rid of this one. Then the next book that I'm getting rid of is Illuminati by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I considered keeping this book because of how pretty it is. Like, the things inside it are just very interesting, but I did not like it, so I'm not going to keep it. I mostly didn't like it because it's science fiction. So if you do like science fiction, you probably will like this book, because everyone I've heard talk about this book who likes science fiction like this book. It's about 2 teens whose planet gets destroyed and they have to flee, and they're on this refugee ship. I think there are 3 refugee ships, and they're on separate ones, and they try to survive, basically, I think. I'm not sure what else I can tell without spoiling things. I did read the entirety of this. It's a very chunky book, but there are also like parts that are, let me find one, like this. So you can get through this pretty quickly. And I enjoyed some parts of it. I mostly just kept reading it because I loved the multimedia aspect of it, I guess. The way they incorporated all these different things. It's entirely told in files and transcripts and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting, but the story just wasn't for me. I liked it when the 2 teens were chatting with each other and flirting and talking about their lives back home. I just did not like anything that had to do with the space stuff, so not for me. And then the last book that I'm getting rid of is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filler. This is a book I bought and read years ago, and I can't remember anything about it except for that I did not like it. I think that might have been mostly my age, to be honest, because I was quite young when I read it, and it is an adult novel, so maybe that's part of why I didn't enjoy it. I think it's about schizophrenia, but I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me on it. I did really like what's on the back. It's not a synopsis, so I can't tell you what it's about because I don't remember and it's not on the back. But what is on the back is, I'll tell you what happens because it will be a good way to introduce my brother. His name's Simon. I think you're going to like him. I really do. But in a couple of pages he'll be dead. And he was never the same after that. Which just really intrigued me and is why I bought the book. So yeah, it wasn't for me. I didn't like it, so I am getting rid of it. And those are all the books I'm going to unhaul. I'm sorry, but I won't be giving them to you. I sent pictures to all of my friends that I know that are interested in reading, so any day ones they can get. If you have one that you're interested in reading and you live in the Netherlands and are willing to pay for the transportation and like a couple of euros for the actual book, DM me on Instagram or Twitter, I guess, but mostly I'm just going to give them to my friends and family who want them, and the rest I'm going to try to give to a charity shop or to find like a traveling library, not a traveling library, the kinds that are just outside that say, hey, you can take a book but leave one. I might just leave all the other extra books there because I don't want to throw them away, but also shipping them to people is very expensive. And yeah, that's what I'm probably going to do with them. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. If you read any of the books that I'm unhauling and you like them or you dislike them, either way, let me know what you thought of them. If you think I should keep one, I won't, sorry. Everything I was unsure about, I decided to keep and get rid of later if I didn't like it. But do tell me what you liked about them or what you didn't like about them, because I'm curious to know that. And that's that for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. There will be a picture of my face that you can click on to subscribe right here, and there will be 2 videos right here. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.